This is a monumental article signaling a massive shift in culture and attitude all across the United States. Marijuana surpasses alcohol in daily use for Americans, a new study finds. More people in the United States say they're using marijuana daily or near daily compared with people who say they're drinking alcohol, according to a new study. In 2022, about 17.7 million people reported daily or near daily marijuana use compared with 14 million people who reported drinking at the same frequency, which was based on more than 4 decades of data from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. It was the first time the survey recorded more frequent use of cannabis than alcohol. First time ever. This is amazing. Breakthrough information. The research was published in the peer-reviewed journal Addiction. So this is peer-reviewed and not industry-funded. Peer-reviewed. The research window spans the years 1979 to 2022, and the 27 surveys that were analyzed involved more than 1.6 million participants during that time frame. So we have a good idea that this is accurate. The study described the growth in daily or near daily cannabis use as striking. While far more people drink than use marijuana, high-frequency drinking among Americans is less common. I don't know about that. I know a lot of people that binge drink on the weekends, but that may not be what this is talking about. The 2022 survey found that the median drinker reported drinking on 4 to 5 days in a month, compared to 15 to 16 days in a month for cannabis. The study noted that changing trends in cannabis use parallel corresponding changes in cannabis policy with declines during periods of greater restriction and growth during periods of policy liberalization. It stressed, however, that this did not mean there was a causal link between both. There was a causal link, as both could have been manifestations of changes in underlying culture and attitudes. Well, that just makes sense because the more access you have to something, the more prevalent it's going to be, whether or not it's, binge drinking because it's legal or just having a sip or two. Same with cannabis. Just because it's legal doesn't mean someone's going to go out and smoke a pound, but they might try a little gram of something, whether it's edible or tincture or whatever. So that makes sense. 38 states and D.C. have legalized medical marijuana programs, and 24 states have approved recreational use. Last month, Attorney General Merrick Garland recommended easing restrictions on marijuana, a historical shift in federal drug policy that could broaden access to the drug for medical use and boost cannabis industries in states where it's legal. It's going to. The author of the study told the Post that the majority of marijuana users are smoking the substance, but that over time, more people have been using extract-based products such as edibles and vapes. Now that makes sense. Anytime you're smoking something, it's not healthy. I'm talking to myself here too. I love smoking. I fell for it. Cinema got me. Black and white old cinema smoking. It was cool. I got it. But it's not healthy at all. Anytime something goes into your lungs, such as smoke, it's not good. So, if best you can, try not to. Cannabis legalization has expanded the variety of products, adding that prices have dropped as frequency of use has increased and the products people are using are more potent. A lot of people are spending a substantial portion of their waking hours under the influence, which can affect short-term memory, right? You ever smoked and then walked into your living room and gone, what am I supposed to be doing? I knew I had to do something in here. That happens all the time, even if you don't smoke. Usage of marijuana was occasional in the past, something people used at parties, on weekends. Now, he said, as weed is more akin to cigarette smoking, forming part of a daily's habit. Also, just got to throw that in there. There might be more stressful things going on in the world right now, so people might be dealing with it in different ways, such as, hey, it's 2 o'clock on a Wednesday or Thursday, and there's a lot of shit going on in my life or whatever, so I need a little smoke before I can get through it. I don't know, just a hypothesis. That's why they smoke, too, to relieve stress. Oh, I'm so stressed I need a cigarette. So they're kind of just shifting away to something a little bit more stronger. The study added that marijuana is no longer a young person's drug, and that by 2022, people 35 and older accounted for slightly more days of use than those under 35. The older people with arthritis, pain, skin stuff, all that kind of stuff, they're getting into it as well. And that stuff is daily topical, daily doses, whether or not they're smoking to get stoned and party, that doesn't mean that they're not using it on a daily basis. Just like you might have a glass of wine at home when you get home from work, but you're not going to go drink a whole bottle or get drunk. They noted that while marijuana is not as dangerous as opioids, there's some health consequences, including cannabis use disorder and potential negative effects on the human brain. There is a role for officials to design policies that protect public health. Those making policy decisions need to be aware that the usage pattern does not look like it did 30 years ago. There's a big change in intensity. Other experts say that while medical cannabis is popular in treating chronic pain and can improve short-term symptoms, much remains unknown about the potential long-term ill effects of such usage. They say cannabis is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease and cognitive impairment, and they urge patients who decide to use medical marijuana to go to licensed retailers and to use edibles or tinctures over smoking or vaping because of respiratory risks involved. Now, I don't usually agree a lot with a lot of these news articles, but that I do agree with. If you can, big if, get tested products from a legal retailer, I would suggest that. Now, whether or not they manipulate the results, the THC is accurate and all that stuff, you're at least going to have a better opportunity of a clean product when it's tested, sold in a legal market than if you do from something at an illegal store, vape shop, or somebody you don't know. And ultimately, the only way to know what's in your cannabis or food or anything is to grow it yourself. And come on, government, let us do that. The study has some limitations. Its author noted that the data from the surveys were self-reported and that the willingness to self-report might have increased as cannabis became normalized over time. However, the enormous change in self-reporting still suggested that changes in actual use have been considerable. So if everyone's been self-reporting for 40 or 50, 60 years in the same study, the only thing that might make them more open to admitting their cannabis use is that it's now legal. Well, duh. So anyway, with the changing sentiment and culture and in criminality and laws and legislation, this is monumental. For the first time ever, more people are using cannabis on a daily basis than alcohol. And we don't even have all the states legal. We don't even have half the states legal. We have 24 and only 33 total, or ish, 30 plus. 24 states. This is exactly why alcohol and pharmaceutical drugs do not want cannabis to be legalized. Because as soon as it is, everyone, majority of people, will flock to cannabis or hemp-derived products for healing, for fun, for whatever the following may be. That's going to happen, and it's going to happen like an industrial revolution. Maybe a green industrial revolution, the actual real green industrial revolution that has products and infrastructure and actually can help you as opposed to just driving without gas. So share this article. The link is in the description. Please read it and share it with everyone you know and tell everyone that you're actually a majority now if you smoke as opposed to the minority. That's a cool shift. And that's a stat. That's a stat. That's a fact. That's not fiction. Appreciate you being here. More good news. Till next time, stay blessed and don't forget to tip your bud tenders.